know what a paralegal does exactly. A paralegal does, what they do depends on where they are working, and there are many facets of areas where a paralegal can work. For example, they may work for criminal justice, they may work for torts field, which is civil lawsuits, or they may work in like traffic accidents, or they may clerk in a federal court system. And so there are many things that they can do. And the reason why the paralegal field interested me is because I've always been interested in law. And to me, it's just so exciting to find that the Supreme Court justices even differ on the interpretation of law. For example, as you guys may know, there are 9 Supreme Court justices. And when they look at law, they actually have to interpret the constitutional meaning behind it. And that is why sometimes you'll see a split decision on major cases, or sometimes some cases that don't even make the news. And I want to give you an example in 2 cases. On healthcare, which has been our most recent, well, not the most recent, but one of the most recent Supreme Court decisions. And there were 5 upholds, and there were 4 dissents. And that means that for upholding, first you have to follow the case through the court system. It doesn't automatically get to the appeals court. You have to go through like a pretrial stage, then you go through an actual court stage, and I believe in Baltimore or Maryland, state of Maryland, is the district court system, and then it goes to the appellate court system. And once it reaches the appellate court system, if there's a constitutional violation of somebody's rights, then they get to request a hearing for your district, Supreme Court district, or all the way to the United States Supreme Court. But it doesn't automatically happen. There has to be a violation of some constitutional right, or where the court has erred in its decision. So when it goes to the Supreme Court, what happens is that once they hear all of the arguments, maybe like a 3-minute argument from each side of the attorneys, and then the rest is in paper format, called briefs, then they make their determination on whether or not they concur or uphold this decision of the appellate court before it reached the Supreme Court, or whether they dissent. And when they dissent, that means that they do not agree with the ruling of the majority of whatever case they're hearing, or that they don't agree with this reasoning. So it could be a reasoning, or it could be that they don't agree with the decision. And so with the healthcare, there were 5 upholds: Roberts, Breyer, Ginsburg, Sotomayor, and Kagan all upheld the decision that healthcare was constitutionally right. And those who dissented were Alito, Scalia, Kennedy, and Thomas. And then there was another interesting court case, Gonzalez versus Rake. And that one was for medicinal marijuana, and that was decided back in 2005. And the reason I chose these 2 cases is because both of them relied on arguments of the commerce laws, and which their reasoning was that these items or these laws affect interstate commerce, which also involves transportation. So somehow or another, they basically combine the clauses in the commerce laws and the statutes to make their decision. And so in that particular case, Gonzalez versus Rake, first of all, Gonzalez was the district attorney at the time. And there has to be a person or a body of people to bring a complaint to the court. It can't be like the school system. It has to be a specific person who is named in that particular case, whoever brings it to the appellate court. So in this case, instead of bringing that whole medicinal physicians and the growers of the crops to court, they decided that this person, Rake, who was actually receiving medicinal marijuana, should be the one named on the complaint. So there were 6 upholds to not make it legal for the medicinal marijuana to be used. And there was Stevens, Kennedy, Souter, Ginsburg, Breyer, and Scalia, who upheld that the appellate court was right in not approving the legality of medicinal marijuana. And then there were 3 dissenters, O'Connor, Rehnquist, and Thomas. And so these 2 cases are just examples of why I am passionate about the law. I think it is so important to all of us to know what our constitutional rights are and to know how to protect them. So I actually interviewed Ms. Bebe Henderson in my hometown of Durham, North Carolina. And I just wanted to get a feel of making sure that I was on the right path and if I should pursue a specific area of law to study. And what she told me, and I'll just share a little bit with you about our phone conversation. I asked her what courses did she find most interesting, and she told me that she loved wills, estates, and trusts, and that she preferred commercial and property law. And she admitted to me also that she had to retake the statistics course, which I'm not looking forward to taking, and because it was so difficult, so she had to retake that. And I asked her on a scale of 1 to 5, how satisfied was she with the paralegal, as being a paralegal, and she said right now she was at a 5+, and it was because she found her niche, working with a great legal team. And she said that on her team there are 4 of them, an attorney, and she is the paralegal, and then they have a law student and a receptionist. And what they do is they work for, well, they are actually contracted by 8 different real estate companies to make sure their contracts are solid, and also to quell any problems with it before it goes to court. And I asked her also how I could become involved in the area of law prior to my degree completion. And she said that I should be able to find an attorney who is doing a lot of pro bono work and offer assistance with research. And also she said that my district attorney's office is probably overwhelmed just as much as everybody else, and that I would probably be able to find some work there in the district attorney's office doing research, or, you know, some simple typing and mailings. And so, that is about all that I have to share regarding, oh, there's one other thing. The important policy that I already have that I think would make me a great paralegal is my abilities to communicate one-on-one. Yes, of course, I get nervous when I talk to a large crowd, but other than that, I am very confidential. I bring respect and then bring honor, and I think that I will definitely enjoy being a paralegal specialist. That's